And we're back. Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal playing more Oracle of Seasons, and last time we were here, we completed some errands in Subrosia, and then also hit the overworld up so we could gather 4 jewels that we need to access the area before the 6th dungeon. So we're going to go ahead and put these jewels in the wall now. This time around, we're going to explore the Tarm Ruins area. That is the name of this place. And that is going to lead us towards the 6th dungeon, but on the way we're also going to upgrade our sword, because this is the place where we do that at. And we'll maybe run into Maple and get into some hijinks. It'll be pretty neat. But this area is actually really interesting. It involves puzzles that require you to change the seasons around in order to progress. Progress. There we go. We're going to say it that way, progress. And it's pretty neat, I like it. So, first, to take care of this, we have a kind of brief puzzle here. But, when in doubt in Zelda games, we need to push stuff, and that is actually going to unlock a miniature staircase, which we can cross once we change the season to winter. So, it took me like 5,000 years to figure out to do that when I was a child, in part because, like, usually with the Armo statues, that's what that statue I just moved is, they don't actually unlock stuff when you push them, it's usually just you push them on top of buttons or stuff, and in this case we didn't have to do that, so that was a little bit strange. But we are going to change it to winter. Actually, it should still be winter before we do this. Pardon me. And we're going to move these over here, and these statues, when I change the season, the water's going to melt, and it's going to make a path for us to cross the rocks. And we are already where we need to be. There we go. One last thing, we need to clear out these flowers and change it to fall, because in fall the mushrooms become ripe and they're ready for picking. And it's kind of annoying that you actually have to pick up the mushrooms, that you can't actually, like, break them with your sword, but whatever. It's fine. And I was right, we are going to run into Maple. Hopefully she'll have something interesting for us this time around, because last time she had a heart piece, but it fell into the water. Hey, she has a potion. I actually want one of those, so we're going to take it from her. We meet again. You know the drill. Fastest one wins. Ready? Go. I got it already, nerd. Fuck off. And she prioritizes the seeds over a lot of things, and I think that's really silly, because the seeds are really easy to replace, but whatever. She's allowed to decide how to do things the way she wants to. Anyway, how y'all doing? I'm doing just dandy. This is probably where the game, I mean, I've said this before, but the game ramps up again here. You're doing pretty interesting puzzles in order to progress. And you get a really neat item, my favorite item, actually, from this dungeon, the magic boomerang. But I'll talk more about that when we get it. So if you're wondering, this isn't actually the dungeon we're in. We are in the area leading up to the dungeon, because it has a fairly large sequence of maps that we have to progress through before we're actually in the actual dungeon. And right now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, we are in a Lost Woods area, and there are 2 paths you can take. The first path involves going to the left in increasingly warm seasons, so winter, fall, spring, summer, and once you do that, you find an upgrade for your sword. So we got the Legendary Master Sword. Now we have the level 3 sword, and basically the game is going to be really fucking easy from this point on, because we're literally going to one-shot almost everything with a single sword swipe. But now that we've taken that first path, we have another one we need to take. We need to go left, and then we need to go down, but it has to be fall first. And then we need to go right in spring, so again, in increasingly warm seasons, from winter to summer. Ah, shit. Need to change it back to spring, I passed it. There we go. Okay, and then we need to go up in summer. And we are where we need to be. We did it. So make sure you don't touch these statues. They actually wake up and they're kind of annoying to kill. Even though actually we can one-shot them, but... Or no, we can't. These are not the kind that we can kill right now. But once we have the magic boomerang, we can kill those, but for now we can't. And we now have another place to warp to, so this is another Gale Seed Tree. Even though it doesn't have the seeds on it, the game is going to remember that we visited this location, so we don't have to go through that puzzle to get here again. We can just warp to the tree. So I am gonna... Fuck, I got hit. There we go, two-shot it. So I am going to change it to fall real quick, because there is a little house to the left of us that we can access once we pick up these mushrooms. And I don't remember if this is one of the people who gets pissed off when you burn down the tree and makes you pay for it, or not. If they are, we're just gonna have to deal with it. But if they're not, I'm happy, because they're gonna give us some money. Actually, this isn't even a person's house at all, it just has a geisha seed in it. And that's fine. So, what have I been doing today? I've been messing around with financial aid. I turned in my FAFSA a while ago, but for some reason my school has not got it, even though on the website it says it's been processed. So I was talking to financial aid, and they think that what happened was I put in the wrong school to send my FAFSA information to. So I'm gonna resubmit it. They suggested resubmitting it. Because the person I had worked with, I couldn't log into my FAFSA account because I was on the phone and I wasn't in front of my computer, but I had a screenshot of like my receipt that said I did it. And like email confirmation that it was completed, so I have to check that out later, and that's fine for the most part. He said because I'm a grad student, it's not going to be really that big of a deal. I'm still going to have, for the most part, all the same options for financial aid. It'd be different if I was an undergrad, because there are a lot more people who want the money, and then there's a different aid pool for grad students and undergrad students. But I digress. Other than that, nothing else has been going on. So if you're wondering why I'm wandering around instead of progressing, I'm just kind of trying to show off these areas to y'all, even though I'm not even talking about the game right now. I feel like I should probably say some Zelda stuff pretty soon here, but I guess I don't really remember any Zelda stuff. What stories have I told? I don't know, when Wind Waker came out, I was living in San Antonio again. I had moved from Georgia, and I used to play at my cousin's house all the time, because my mom worked very, very long hours. And so I basically stayed with my cousins during the day, and my mom would pick me up at like 11 p.m. when she got off work. And then I would basically play that game, and my cousins would sometimes play with me or watch me play. Or they would be off doing stuff on their own. I used to be very, very, very close to my cousins. Where the fuck am I going, friends? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Shit. I do not know what I am supposed to do here. Oh my god, I forgot. This is embarrassing. I practiced this earlier, too. So what I'm suspecting is... I mean, there's a stump here. Obviously, I gotta change the season, right? I think maybe there's gonna be something I can climb up with vines, maybe. No? Nah. Okay, well, let's change the season again. You know what? It's probably winter, because there's gonna be snow or some shit that we can climb up, right? We started in fall, didn't we? No, we didn't. We didn't start in fall here. We did change it to fall earlier, though. Alright, let's try winter out and see how this goes. But like I was saying, I was staying with my cousins a lot, and I was really close to my cousins for a long time. However, basically what alienated us was that, well, not alienated, but I grew less close to them, basically, just because I was a giant faggot. And so there was that, and my family is a little bit homophobic. And I think they could probably tell, because I've always been kind of soft. I don't want to say soft, but I've always been really gay, basically. And I've never shown any interest in girls or being an asshole. So I think they've probably assumed. But I also, hey, we made it! We made it to the dungeon! Incidentally, this dungeon, they directly stole this dungeon from Link's Awakening, or rather the appearance of the outside. But that's fine, because that's a good game. Anyway, we're in level 6, the Ancient Ruins. So, like I was saying with my cousins, we just slowly grew apart as it became more obvious that I was a giant homo. Which is kinda a little bit sad. But at the same time, I also don't feel particularly close to family, but I think it's just because I'm gay, honestly. Like, I just have spent so much of my life trying to, like, hide myself or show that I deserve respect, that eventually I just kind of grew tired of it, and so I don't see family as particularly appealing as an entity. But such is life. And that's also kind of one of the things about being... I know there are other people in kind of similar situations as me, and that's kind of one of the things that happens when you're, like, gay, is that people read you as not wanting to have anything to do with other people, but really, you're just kind of shy and awkward from having to hide yourself all the time, so you don't really always know how to interact with people that well. And people read that as you being kind of stuck up or thinking you don't want anything to do with anyone else. And I think it's kind of 50-50 with that, because I do kind of don't want to do with anyone, but it's kind of a safety mechanism, but, you know, it is what it is. I just ran directly into that thing. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing with my hands here. So this dungeon's pretty interesting. What I remember about it is there's like a wall you're supposed to bomb at some point, but it like makes no sense that you're supposed to bomb it, or rather there's like no indication, you're just supposed to know. And I think they do this in Oracle of Ages 2 in the Ancient Tome dungeon, or Ancient Tomb, pardon me. Basically there's a wall that you can hit with your sword, and when you hit it with your sword it makes a strange sound, which lets you know that... Fuck, dude, I just keep running straight into that. Which lets you know, basically, that you are supposed to bomb it. However, they don't even really tell you that that's a thing in Oracle of Ages or Seasons. You're just supposed to kind of figure it out. In fact, I kind of think it's this room or another room that's on this side of the map, but I'm not sure off the top of my dick. Anyway, so right now we're just exploring. I did practice this, but I totally forgot. I totally forgot basically everything I practiced, because I practiced this yesterday and I'm recording it the day after, so that just kind of happens. My memory didn't hold up that well. But I also kind of remember this. I remember in practice this wasn't too hard to figure out. Is there a thing I can suck myself to? No, there isn't. It's over there. I am pretty sure... I don't know how to get over there. We'll figure it out. Oh, you know what? I know what we're supposed to do. I knew it involved the magnetic glove, I just wasn't paying attention to the room. Alright, and get out of the way for this thing. And then we need to have our... Fuck. There we go. Okay, we need to jump over there. And I'm gonna just use my boomerang to... Fuck. Okay, fine. If that's what you really want me to do, I'll be patient and jump this way. There we go. This is what we're supposed to do, but I was being impatient. If you drop the ball in the pit, you just have to re-enter the room, because it's gone until you zone in and out. But we're going to push this over here, and we're going to get hit by that again, and that's fine, because we're going to whip out this boomerang and get a fairy. And that will heal us mostly to full health. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here, because it is getting kind of long here, so I'll catch y'all later. We'll complete this dungeon maybe in the next part. See ya and bye.